Okay, now for part 2 of CLC Online Library. This one is going to focus on getting into another database called Academic Search Ultimate. So again, if you're back at your regular page here, when you log in, and then in the Launchpad, you'll scroll down to the library. Click on Library. And remember, it brings us to this main page of the library. We'll scroll down to Find, and then we're going to click on Articles, Journals, and e-Resources. And then actually at the very top, you see all the databases in alphabetical order, but the very first one is the next one that we're going to look at. It's called Academic Search Ultimate. So we'll click on that. And then if you didn't already, so we're already in the databases and have already logged in online, so now we're good and we didn't have to re-put in our ID number, but if you had to, then you would put that in first and then it would bring you to this page. So then this is the main page of Academic Search Ultimate, and this is a great online search engine that helps find tons of different things. This is just one of the many databases that belongs to EBSCO. So sometimes you hear of EBSCO and you're thinking, oh, I'm using an EBSCO I'm using EBSCO as the database. EBSCO is the owner of multiple databases, okay, which we have a lot of availability to a lot of these databases. So a couple things that we're going to look at here is this is where we're going to do our search, and this is where we put in search terms. And search terms are referring to specific quick words that kind of get us to maybe our topic idea. So I'm going to put in the same topic that we did before, and that being abortion as the one that I started with, and then I'm going to hit search. Now, here's what we see. It pulled up in this database basically everything that it found within Academic Search Ultimate that has been written about abortion. Here are our search results. So obviously this is an overwhelming amount of searches, right? And that would be a lot to search through. And we don't have time to search through all of those. So what we need to do then is we need to kind of limit our search a little bit here by doing a few things. So we have 2 more spots in which we can enter more information, okay, to kind of narrow down this search. And then we also have over here, you'll see it right now, it says and, but if you click on that, it also gives you the option of or and not. So and is going to basically mean that when you're searching, it's going to look for the word that you have here and then the word that you have here. So I'm going to put in abortion, and then I'm going to put in teens, just to make it more specific. So then it's saying that the search has to find anything that talks about abortion and teens within it. So if we hit search again, and then we wait for it to refresh, now that brings us to 1,000 searches. So awesome. That is so much better. Obviously, 67,000 is going to be ridiculous. So it's a little bit more manageable, but still, we probably want to narrow that down a little bit. Okay. So we can then put in another term here. And then let's say we just want to, because I can see right here, it says a UK right at the top. So let's try just putting in, if I could type correctly, United States. So that now means we've got the and here. So it means that we're going to search for anything that has the word abortion in it, has teens in it, and United States. So it has to find all of that stuff. Search, refresh, and now we're down to 403. Okay. So we could even do more specific. So this is a little more manageable at least, and then we can kind of start to scroll through and see what we have here. which would be kind of helpful to at least like look at the first page. We're giving us the first 40. We might be able to find something, but maybe we even wanted to be more specific here and just say like into Chicago area. Okay, so that's really going to narrow down that search. That's down to 12. Obviously 12 is so much more manageable. Okay, and then that gives us the option to start looking into these actual sources. Okay, but there's a couple other things that I want to show you that might help kind of narrowing down your search then as well. First, what I do need to show you is the difference here if we change this and to or. Okay, so what this would be saying then as we're doing our search is that abortion, whatever the search that we're looking for, it has to say abortion or teens and Chicago. Okay, so if we hit the search on that, it's going to give us more because it's saying that it has to say abortion or teens, which then means that it's going to find anything that has teens, but it doesn't necessarily have to have abortion in it then as well. So or is always going to give you more results. In most cases, we don't want that. We want to narrow it down to get less results. You could then switch this to not, and then it would say the search is looking for anything that says about abortions, not anything with teens, but then also focuses specifically on Chicago. So we'll change that and see what the difference is. So that's down to 612. Okay. So what we're going to do then is I'm going to put it back at the and then I'm going to put it back at the United States just to show you how we could narrow this down more from this as well. So we're back to 403, okay? Now we could also then go over to the side here and then change some of the limit too, okay? So we could say that we just want references that are available, so that would mean only references that are available to us. So we'll click that and it's going to update. 26. So that's awesome. That's really going to help us. Then we also want to put full text, making sure that we're going to get all of the information. It's not just going to give us an abstract of something. That changed it to 20. And then now we're going to go even further and say that we only want scholarly peer-reviewed journals, which means basically, again, that they have double-checked, fact-checked all of their sources, has been reviewed by someone, so they're saying that, yes, this is legit. So if we click on that and see what it updates, okay, so 20, so at least the 20. But 20 is so much more manageable, right? So then what we're going to do is let's take a look at we'll pick one. So choosing abortion seems to make us decisions without parental involvement. So we'll click on that. Maybe that's part of what you're talking about within your paper. And then when you click on it, then you'll see some information over here then as well. So it says that it's got the full PDF, so you can click on that and view the full PDF about it. But what you might want to do first is kind of scroll down, and right here, it gives the abstract. The abstract, again, remember, is a summary of what this is going to be about, okay? So it says overall that, okay, it's might be a little bit lengthy, okay? So you want to then just read through this abstract first, and then it saves you the time of reading through, especially if something is like 20 pages long. Read the abstract to see if it's even worth going through those 20 pages, okay? If though you're like, yep, that seems good, I am ready to totally read this, it's definitely what I'm looking for, then you could click on the full PDF text. And then it comes up here. So yes, it's 38 pages. So definitely want to review that abstract first to make sure that it's exactly what you're looking for. But then you do have the full thing here, okay? Then you have some options as well. So you can see our little icons on the side here. Of course, you can go here and download it. So you can download it to your computer. You could also print it from here as well. But then the other little icons that we have over here on the side are some good little features as well. If you have a Google Drive, you could then save this to Google Drive. From here, you can print it again as well. You can also email it to yourself. This add to the folder, don't use this one, not a good one to use. But then here's the one that you're really going to want, is how to cite this. So if you decide, yep, this is definitely the source I want to use, it's a great source, I've read through it, but now I need that citation stuff. I need for the works cited page. So for the works cited page, then you click on this little cite icon, and then it comes up with the different ways in which you can cite it. We're going to scroll down until we find MLA, because that's what we need. There it is, MLA, so it gives us the works cited. So then what we can do from here is we can highlight this information, copy, and paste it into our works cited page. So that's saving us the time and effort of going through figuring out what all the stuff is that we need to put in, okay? Now, a couple of things that you want to think about though when you do copy and paste this. Remember, it's not necessarily going to take in, like here, gender issues. This title is italicized. It may not do that for you. Over here, EBSCO host, it may not italicize that either. So you want to double check that and make sure when you go in and copy and paste it that you fix that to make sure it's italicized. And then it's probably not going to take in this indentation, nor is it going to take in, like this font here is not Times New Roman 12, so you'll have to change that then as well. Okay, and then the other thing that you need to know would be this permalink, okay? So you may think, yep, this is a great source. I'm just going to go back to it, and I'm going to go up, and I'm going to just save in my browser up here. I'm just going to copy and paste this link, and then it'll get me right back to this article if I need to. That is not the case, however. So what you have to make sure in order to do and get back to this link is go to this permalink here, click on that, and then this link here, this is the one that you will highlight, copy, and paste, and that link will get you back to this exact document, okay? If you don't do this, you might find that you cannot get back to it at all, or it's just not going to give you the right access. Yes, of course, you could go back in and search for it all over again, but one thing that you need to know about our databases is that they are updating daily. So with that in mind, that means that on any given day, the source, when you looked for that source, so going back here, so in our search, this was the second source that we had, okay? But if you go back 3 days later, it's now been updated several times, probably several times during the day. So now this number 2 source might be number 15 or number 20, and maybe there's new sources that came in. So it's better to make sure that you're saving it somehow through all those options that you had on the side through these tools, or definitely making sure that you're copying that permalink to get back to it, okay? So you continue to do that, looking through all of your searches, so you can maybe click on another one and go to that. This one's not, let's see, we'll just click on this one. And then same thing, it gives you the full PDF, gives you your abstract here, and all of your tools to use here. So that's getting to the Academic Search Ultimate, or database, sorry.